Nice to meet you. Thanks so much for being willing to have a little chat with me today.
Yeah.
And so you said you go by your middle name, Devon?
Yeah.
Well, hi, Devon. All right, so anything you want to mention is all up to you. I'll just ask some questions and answer what you're comfortable with. To share as much of your life and story as you are interested in talking about. Let's just start by asking, where were you born?
I was born in Nanaimo, on Vancouver Island.
Almost local.
Obviously don't really remember anything from my childhood, much before 19.
When were you born? What year?
May 28th, 93.
93, okay. So you say you don't remember much of your childhood?
Yeah, when I moved over to the Lower Mainland when I was 12 or 13, I think. And when I was 19, I was walking through Hawthorne Park, and I got mugged by somebody following me from my birthday party. Tried to steal my weed and my bongs. And I don't really remember that because I got my skull caved in, died, and was in a coma. And then when I was in the hospital, they put me on like a hydromorphine drip and gave me gelatos and sent me with like morphine and stuff, and then cut me off cold turkey. And then that's how I got hooked on down the first time. And I was only on it for about 8 months the first time, and I got off. And then about a year and a half after that, I had seizures after the injury. I had a seizure that put me back into a coma, and they put me back on a hydromorphine drip and took me back on with morphine and stuff again. And so the hospital got me hooked her down again, and then I came out of the hospital, and I just kind of felt embarrassed in front of my friends that I was like hooked on drugs, and I moved back to Nanaimo. And that's where I ended up homeless for the first time, for a while anyway. And then, I got off down again, and for a year and a half after. And I was doing pretty well for a while. For a while I had like the biggest yacht anchored in the water outside of Nanaimo. Yeah, 58 foot long.
So you're really doing well.
Yeah, I have my own trailer and stuff.
What was it that helped you to do so well?
I don't know, I was working as a head mechanic in a bike shop. And, I don't know.
You just worked hard and were making good money.
Yeah, the yacht, like the people moved, and the city called them, I guess, and said they're going to impound it because it's been sat there for so long. So they put it up for sale, like really cheap. So I got it for like $8,000. It was in pretty good shape. And then about, I'm not sure, when I was, I guess, 28, I got hit in the head again, got my head caved in again for a second time.
You were 28, so that's just a few years ago?
Yeah, 31 now. My head caved in again, and died, was in a coma again. And I just woke up like a month later in Nanaimo, or Duncan, I mean. And I had no clue what happened. And same thing the first time, they put me on down again for a third time. For hydromorphine drip and gelatos and morphine and stuff. And then I went back to Nanaimo. I still had the boat and stuff, and I let a homeless kid stay on the boat with me. And he went over to a little island just off Nanaimo called Protection. There was like a whole bunch of rich people there. Like there was a bunch of millionaires. And he just went over there at night to rob them. So like, they was up in my trailer at the time and let me stay there for a night on his own. I came back down, and the little boat we went back and forth with, he left it in the docks, loaded up with stolen tools. and like went over to the yacht, and there's a big generator sitting in the back of the boat, right in the open. A bunch of those downhill bikes he stole that were sitting right in the open, like stripped copper all over the roof, search warrant on the door, and then police told me I can't go in the boat until the yacht until the investigation was done, and if I was innocent, they'd give me back the boat. But then they auctioned it off before the investigation was even done, and I didn't get charged or anything for it though. And then during that, my trailer got hit by a tree, so I ended up homeless again. And during that, some guy came out of the casino in Nanaimo, held a gun to my head. His friend had a big green knife, and they forced me to go around and to cash checks in my bank account. And at some point, he saw my bank pin, and he just grabbed my bank card from me and just started emptying out my bank account. And like, there's like they call them vigilantes going around in Nanaimo, killing off homeless people. And in Nanaimo, they shut down any washroom or anything for homeless people, so there's nowhere for anybody to go use the washroom or do anything.
It's pretty bad over there.
Huh?
Pretty bad over there for homeless people?
Yeah, I had a few friends die from the vigilantes or whatever. So I came over here, hoping it would be a little better.
When you say vigilantes, do you mean someone associated with the city or other people?
Some of them were like off-duty police. Some of them were just people that didn't like homeless people. I'm not totally sure all of them.
It's a whole string of really tough things and bad luck there.
Yeah, I was living in a nice yacht to homeless in like a week.
Now, you don't remember anything of your childhood, you say? Or
Not
very
much.
Little? What about your parents? Are you in touch with them at all?
No, my last I heard from my mom, she owns a couple of houses and stuff. She was in Ontario at the time, and I was buying a house from her in Port Alberni, and so she was going to give it to me for a good deal, I guess. But she's a little bit schizophrenic. And at some point, she came like all the way across Canada from Ontario, changed the locks on the house while I was out for the day, took my dog, took my name off the deed or whatever the house, when I'd already like half paid it off. And then on the way back to Ontario, she stopped by my sister's, took her kid. She had a 6-month-old kid. I don't know how that happened. And then tried to go jump on a plane to China. And I'm not sure, I haven't talked to her in a few years since then. Last I heard, they let her on the plane for some reason. I don't know how she got on the plane with the kid, with somebody else's kid with no papers for it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm assuming that she probably got deported back here. I didn't look into it though.
Wow. So that's your mom?
Yeah, and she'd already, like, when I got my head caved in the first time, I got like the victim services money from it, and I was on a joint account with her, and it was like $45,000 or something, and she stole like $40,000 in my bank account. I just don't really talk to her.
Yeah, that's understandable. And your father?
And my dad, I like my dad. Maybe he has a bit of a record himself and stuff, but he's always worked, and he's a red steel mechanic, and he's a logger now.
And you get along all right with him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. And he's on the island as well?
Yeah, he lives just in Nanaimo, a little town called Cedar.
Okay.
Pretty much like hiking his from Nanaimo.
Well, that's good. You can keep in touch with him, right?
Yeah, I was in for the little bits I do remember. I was in for a big part of my childhood there. Like a 250-acre farm, horses and stuff.
That sounds pretty good. Did you like horses?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of riding horses much. Like I used to ride the horses a lot when I was younger, but I had a few injuries. More breaking horses there, but
So now you're on the downtown Eastside, living here. Is that correct?
yeah.
And do you stay in shelters, or do you have an apartment?
I was staying in shelters at first, but it seems like all the shelters downtown here, all the shelters seem like they're full of headlights, and a lot of the buildings downtown are full of cockroaches and stuff. And so I'm trying to find a job again here, like a bike shop or something.
Oh, that'd be good.
I've had a few head injuries and disability.
You're a bit mechanically minded.
Yeah, disability doesn't want me working like any heavy lifting and stuff.
Because you're on disability.
Yeah, I never even signed up for it. After the first head injury, I just came out of a coma and I was on disability already. Yeah. On top of that, I've already broken my back.
You broke your back?
The back of my neck,
Oh.
my knee, and every finger and toe multiple times.
You've had a bunch of surgeries?
I didn't go to surgery for all of them, but I've had a few of them. Yeah.
Do you have any more surgeries you need to have, or some kind of therapy or
More
medical
than I
help
probably should have went
in
to,
that
I just
way?
didn't. I just kind of dealt with it.
Okay. And so, what's happening with your life these days? Is it certain addictions that are part of your life at this point?
Well, I came out of a coma the last time. The last time they put me on morphine and stuff.
Yeah.
I was trying to come off down again, and they put me. I got on methadone trying to get off, and that made it a lot worse. And I just like a couple of weeks ago got off methadone because like the withdrawals to that are way longer. The withdrawals to fentanyl or whatever are like a week, and the withdrawals to methadone are like can be over a month. And it's more like benzodope kind of like the withdrawals from that can like give you seizures, and I already had seizures, so that made it really hard. Yeah, whenever I started having withdrawals from it, I just end up in the hospital. But I'm off that now anyway, and almost off her down again, which is going pretty quickly now that I'm off that.
Oh, that's good. What do you think of for your life in the future? Are you having some hopes of what you can all manage to turn your life into once you're off everything, or as much as possible? Maybe you need
I'm pretty
painkillers.
much ready to get off at any point. I'm just trying to find a place first, because the withdrawals are still pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you feel like you're freezing all the time. And I'm just trying to get a place first. And I can show up to a place with the rent and the damage deposit in my hand, and they won't give me a place most of the time. But I might just try coming off of it that way if I can get a place eventually.
You might just what, sir?
I might just cut off at some point here if I can't find a place.
Cut off?
Like stop doing down.
Okay.
I'm only smoking like maybe 2 points a day. The last couple of times I got off, I got down to about a point a day and got off.
You're trying to say it'd be easier to find a place if you were off that?
Yeah, because like the withdrawals, like you're freezing cold, and it's nice to just go sit in the shower for like an hour, or like somewhere warm. We're just trying to sleep through it.
Would your father take you back? Do you have a place to go home to if you wanted to do that?
Not really lately. It's because he's a logger. He doesn't really have a place.
Oh, okay.
He's got kind of like
So working on living at where he works?
mostly. Yeah, it's like a little kind of like a
camp?
shed, or like a little place he builds with the farm I grew up on. But it's like the size of like a big shed. He just made it himself. He's a good electrician and everything too, so.
Well, good. So you would like to hopefully find some work soon. Housing, then work,
Yeah.
and repairs. some nature.
And
And
big goal is, big goal is pretty much replace and get a job at a bike shop.
that'd be great.
I used to like ride BMXs all the time. I was pretty good on it, but I had to like learn to walk and talk again after I came out of a coma. And I haven't been able to hold on to a bike for more than a week at a time here.
So injuries have just obviously been a huge problem that set you back a lot from what you could have been doing.
And the hospitals, like I don't know why they would have put me back on that if I had. I was assuming maybe the first time because it was not that long. It might have still been in my system. But I don't know why they put me on if they realized there's no opiates in my system. They said it was to
gets you re-addicted, or
they said it was just to help keep me alive because like they hooked up to a bunch of like machines and stuff. They said the machines were saying I was like in pain or something, and like I don't think I was. Like when I got my head caved in, I didn't even realize I was injured at first.
I'm really sorry to hear about those terrible injuries. That's a lot to overcome. And then with the painkillers on top of it, that whole journey, very challenging road.
Yes. And if I wouldn't mind like waiting to get new ID too, because like my ID is expired.
You need to get ID.
Yeah.
There's places around that will help you with that?
I'm on disability, so I just have to go to the dentist and for new ID.
Okay. You said you just got a check stolen from you a little before we started. You let me know you
Yeah, being
had
in
some money
here,
stolen?
you can't really sleep anywhere without everything you own getting stolen. So I woke up on check night and everything I had was gone and the wallet was gone.
So it's a pretty common
Yeah,
recurring event.
I'd say like one out of every 3 months I usually end up getting most of my check getting stolen. Or anything I've bought with my check.
Well, Devon, if there's anything else you want to share, please do. Otherwise, I just want to thank you so much for everything you have shared so far, and we appreciate learning about you and your challenges and your hopes, and I truly hope things get better for you, that you get to where you want to be. You're using a walking stick?
Oh, no, I just found that lying on the ground, so I grabbed it. I can walk fine.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you can walk fine. And if you just get the right supports and get housing, like I said, and such,
Yeah,
you can possibly get yourself some work and really get on your feet.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. Yeah. It's hard to get a job here, I guess, though, because you see they're homeless and they just assume things, but yeah, I'm sure I'll find a job at some point here.
Yeah.
Somebody told me there's a place you can go volunteer at a bike shop, and that might help me get a job quicker.
Right. Yeah. I hope that happens for you. Thank you so much for sharing. All the best to you.